Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, most merciful, I greet you, my dear viewers, in our Islamic way. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May Allah's peace, mercy, and blessings be with you all. Continuing from the previous episode, we are still discussing the marvelous description of water in the glorious Qur'an. And we mentioned that water is mentioned in the glorious Qur'an in 63 different locations. Every one of those is actually a scientific miracle by itself. We cannot discuss these 63 verses in one episode, but I have chosen some of these verses to highlight the great precision by which the glorious Qur'an has been tailored. The glorious Qur'an spoke about the origin of water in our planet in 2 verses in Surah Al Najjar, which we discussed in the previous episode. Verses read, وَالْأَرْضَ بَعْدَ ذَلِكَ دَحَاهَا أَخْرَجَ مِنْهَا مَاءَهَا وَمَرْعَاهَا. And the earth, after that, Allah has expanded. From this expansion, actually, He gushed all its water and its pasture from within the earth. And then we find very many verses in the glorious Qur'an that speak about descending water from sky or from clouds. And actually these verses address a completely different case of water other than the origin of water, which was all gushed from within the earth. If this water remained stagnant on the surface of our planet, it would have gone rotten in no time. And because of this, Allah, or glory be to Him, has a certain portion of this water continuously between the land and the atmosphere, or the land and the firmament. And this circulation is a process by which Allah has maintained a certain amount of pure water on the surface of that planet so that all living beings can enjoy it and can use it. Out of the 1,400 million cubic kilometers of water, Allah has decided to evaporate annually 600,000 cubic kilometers of that huge amount of water. Allah allows the sun rays to evaporate that water from the surface of seas and oceans and from the land masses. And by this evaporation, Allah is purifying this water for us, because every cubic centimeter of water, either in seas and oceans or in rivers and lakes, is actually subject to pollution. Enough to mention that running on the surface of the land masses, the water dissolves any soluble chemical compound. And that's why scientists came to realize that all marine water started by fresh water. And throughout the cycle of evaporation, raining, and evaporation, raining, and the flow of the rain waters on the surface of the land masses would wash away many of the soluble salts. And of course, on evaporation, the water leaves that salt behind and goes as pure water vapor to the sky. Through this process, the oceans and seas have obtained its degree of salinity. And it has been observed that this degree of salinity of oceanic waters is increasing annually at a certain fraction, but increasing annually. So much so that scientists actually used the salinity of the oceanic waters method as a means of indicating a hint about the age of the earth. This cycle is known as the hydrogeological cycle, or the water cycle around the earth. Annually, we have 600,000 cubic kilometers of water evaporated from our planet. The bulk of that evaporating from oceans and seas. 500,000 cubic kilometers of water are evaporated annually from oceans and seas. And 100,000 cubic kilometers of water is evaporated from land masses. All this 600 cubic kilometers of evaporated water from our planet comes back drop by drop, but by a new distribution designed and destined by Allah, all glory be to Him. On the coming of rain, Allah, out of His mercy, gives the people and the life on land 65,000 cubic kilometers of water, more than what has been evaporated from its surface. And these 65,000 cubic kilometers in excess is deducted from the quantity of seas and oceans. So seas and oceans evaporate 500,000 cubic kilometers of water annually, and they receive as rain 435 cubic kilometers only. The land masses, they evaporate 100,000 cubic kilometers of water, and they receive as rain 135,000 cubic kilometers of water. Who would have run that other than the most gracious Allah, all glory be to Him? Who would have any control on that process other than Allah, all glory be to Him? And that's why I dare say that this hydrogeological cycle, or the cycle of water around the earth, is one of the most living testimonies for the might, knowledge, and wisdom of the Creator. None of us has got any control on that except the grace of Allah and the mercy of Allah and the power, might, and wisdom of Allah. Because of this, the Qur'an repeatedly expresses the bounds of Allah on all His creation by having this cycle of water around the earth. And I repeat again, if all the water which Allah has bestowed the earth with, if it remained on land, it would have gone rotten in no time. And then no life can exist without fresh water. The cycle is a living testimony to the fact that this universe is not the product of an accident or a chance. Actually, it was produced by very careful planning by the great Creator, Allah, all glory be to Him. And that's why we have to be grateful to this water cycle alone, let aside the many bounties Allah has bestowed on us. We read in the glorious Qur'an, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Surah Al-Baqarah, chapter 2, verses number 21 and 22. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Ya ayyuha an-nas, u'budu rabbakum, alladhi khalaqakum, walladhina min qablikum, la'allakum tattaqoon. O people, O human beings, worship your Lord, your Creator, who has created you and those before you, so that you may be heedful to Him. And then the second verse reads, الذي جعل لكم الأرض فراشا والسماء بناء وأنزل من السماء ماء فأخرج به من الثمرات رزقا لكم فلا تجعلوا لله أندادا وأنتم تعلمون. He qualifies some of the qualities of Allah, all glory be to Him, by saying, who has made the earth a comfortable spread for you, as an abode for you, and the heavens as a physical construction or an edifice for you, and sent down rain from the firmament sky, and brought forth therewith fruits as a means of living for you, and then do not set equals to Allah when you know the truth that Allah alone has the right to be worshipped. So we can see in this verse one of the bounties of Allah, or glory be to Him, on us human beings and the rest of the living beings on earth, is that He has leveled the earth for us. And science tells us that the earth started with a highly complicated topography, and Allah has subjected wind, running water, glaciers, variation in temperature between day and night, variation in temperature during the different climatic episodes, and other many factors to level down the surface of the earth so that it makes it inhabitable by man. وَالسَّمَاءَ بِنَاءً, and Allah has made the firmament as a physical construction, because we know that the firmament around us, the first firmament at least, contains endless numbers of stars, planets, moons, satellites, many objects. And all these are controlled by two main forces: the centrifugal force, by which the smaller body was ejected away from the main body, and the gravitational force that pulls the smaller body to the greater body. Once these two forces are equal, every heavenly body in the lower firmament at least was established in its own orbit. And I think we'll have a short break here, and until we meet again, thank you for listening. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May Allah's peace, mercy, and blessings be with you all.
We are not addicted to dawah. Addiction implies a short-term fix. One doesn't need to get into the zone to talk about Islam. You do dawah because it is a natural result of your commitment to Allah. If you don't talk, people are going to walk. The most effective combination in the propagation of true Islam is found in Dawah Ilallah. Join me, Arif Islam, as we go through Dawah Ilallah only on Peace TV.
Follow the tips to make the task of Dawah result-oriented in Dawah Ilallah tomorrow at 11:30 p.m. and repeat telecast at 6 a.m. India on Peace TV.
The more you hear about it, the more you desire to prepare for it. Life after death. Journey of the soul. The day of resurrection. The torment of the hellfire. The reward of paradise. Stay tuned for a life-changing, heart-softening, spiritually uplifting series about the hereafter exclusively on Peace TV.
Know the vivid descriptions of paradise and hellfire from the Qur'an and authentic ahadith, and acquire life-changing habits to be successful in the hereafter. Every Tuesday at 6 p.m. and repeat telecast at 5:30 a.m. India on Peace TV. Dialogue. Discussion. Debate. Rebuttal. Conclusion.
Eliminate misconceptions about religion. Get enlightened.
Witness Dr. Zakir Naik in a battle of words in Crossfire, next on Peace TV.
Coming back from the short break, I greet you again. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May Allah's peace, mercy, and blessings be with you all. We were discussing the two verses in Surah Al-Baqarah, which read, يا أيها الناس اعبدوا ربكم الذي خلقكم والذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون. O people, worship your Lord who has created you and those who came before you, so that you may be heedful to Allah. And then the second verse shows some of the great bounties of Allah on us. And it reads, الذي جعل لكم الأرض فراشا والسماء بناء وأنزل من السماء ماء فأخرج به من الثمرات رزقا لكم فلا تجعلوا لله أندادا وأنتم تعلمون. Allah, who has made the earth an easily accessible planet for us, who has planed the complex topography with which the earth was created, وَالسَّمَاءَ بِنَاءً, and he has made the firmament as real structure established by wonderful forces that keeps every heavenly body in its orbit. وَأَنزَلَ مِنَ السَّمَاءِ مَاءً, the third great bounty on Allah of the numerous bounties he has bestowed upon us. وَأَنزَلَ مِنَ السَّمَاءِ مَاءً, and he has descended from the firmament water. And as we discussed before, the cycle of water around the earth is one of the marvels of creation and one of the living testimonies to the great mercy of Allah, the wonderful plan of Allah to sustain life on the surface of that planet steadily with fresh water. فأخرج به من الثمرات رزقا لكم. Allah has drawn out from within the soil of the earth plenty of vegetation, plenty of trees, plenty of grasses, and that all these yield different fruits as a great bounty from Allah to the living being on earth, at first men and the rest of life around him. فَلَا تَجْعَلُوا اللَّهِ أَنْدَادًا وَأَنْتُمْ تَعْلَمُونَ. So do not set equals to Allah. Allah, who has given you all this, does not deserve to worship others than him, because he is the giver of all the bounties, all the necessities which we need in this life. And we know that the main gate of the devil to man is trying to deviate man from believing in the oneness of the Creator to worshipping others or associating others in worshipping him. And this has been the theme throughout human history, from the days of the people of Noah until our present time. We also read in Surah Al-A'raf, verse number 57, and this is the 7th chapter of the Qur'an. We read, وهو الذي يرسل الرياح بشرا بين يدي رحمته حتى إذا قلت سحابا ثقالا سقناه لبلد ميت فأنزلنا به الماء فأخرجنا به من كل الثمرات كذلك نخرج الموتى لعلكم تذكرون. He is the one, meaning Allah, all glory be to him, who sends the winds as heralds of glad tidings, going before his mercy until they have carried heavy laden clouds. We drive these clouds to a land that is dead. Then we cause water to descend thereon and produce every kind of harvest therewith. Similarly, we shall raise up the dead, perchance you may remember and take heed. And as we mentioned in previous episodes, the glorious Qur'an is continuously giving the parable of resurrection of the dead bodies from their own graves, with the plantation rising from within a dead soil. And the verse spells out the role of winds in completing this cycle of water around the earth. Once the energy of the sun has evaporated water from oceans and seas and from land, Allah sends winds to carry this water, to form clouds. And these are known as primary clouds. And these primary clouds are rainless. They cannot descend rain, because water vapor carried by these clouds is actually tiny specks that cannot fall into droplets of rain. Because of this, Allah sends fecundating winds. They are winds that carry dust particles, tiny pieces of any solid material that are used as condensation nuclei for the water vapor in the primary cloud. And once a primary cloud is actually invaded or inculcated by these tiny specks of solid particles, it changes into rainy clouds. And these rainy clouds are actually distinguished in the glorious Qur'an by the term al-muzn. Al-muzn are the rainy clouds. So that not every cloud is rainy. It's only after inoculation with the condensation nuclei, the primary clouds can be capable by the will of Allah to drop rain. وهو الذي يرسل الرياح بشرا بين يدي رحمته حتى إذا قلت سحابا ثقالا سقناه لبلد ميت. Once these clouds have been inoculated by the condensation nuclei, they are capable of dropping rain. So Allah will send it to dead areas, and immediately this area becomes wide alive. Allah can produce from these plants all sorts of fruits, all sorts of products that can sustain life on the surface of that planet. And at the end of the verse, Allah gives the parable of creating or raising, resurrecting dead bodies from their own graves by the really germination of a seed and the penetration of the green shoots from within the dead soil. We also read in Surah Ibrahim, chapter 14, verse number 32, الله الذي خلق السماوات والأرض وأنزل من السماء ماء فأخرج به من الثمرات رزقا لكم وسخر لكم الفلك لتجري في البحر بأمره وسخر لكم الأنهار. Allah is the one who has created the heavens and the earth and who sends down water, meaning rain, from the sky, and thereby brought forth all kinds of fruits as a provision for you. And he has made the ships subject to you that they may sail through the sea by his command. And the rivers also he has made subject to you, i.e. to be of service to you in using different means of transportation. So the verse speaks about the creation of heaven and earth, a great sign for the wisdom of the Creator, descending water from the sky, and immediately giving many products of plants, many fruits of these plants as a bounty from Allah to living beings on earth, particularly man. And Allah also shows one of the great aspects of water is that Allah has given water the quality of surface tension, and by this surface tension, water can carry heavy loads on its own surface. And Allah has also subjected the rivers as well as the seas as a means of transportation for humans. In Surah Al-Nahl, verse number 10, chapter 16, we read, هو الذي أنزل من السماء ماء لكم منه شراب ومنه شجر فيه تسيمون. He, meaning Allah, all glory be to him, is the one who sends down water, meaning rain, from the sky. From it you drink, and with it grows the vegetation on which you send your cattle to pasture. So this is again one of the great mercies of Allah, the great aspects of Allah's mercy on us, the cycle of water around the earth, because without the cycle of water, life on the surface of that planet could have never existed. Similarly, we read in Surah Al-Naba, chapter 78, verse number 14, وَأَنزَلْنَا مِنَ الْمُعْصِرَاتِ مَاءً ثَجَّاجًا. And we sent down from the wet clouds, from the rainy clouds, from Al-Muzn, as we mentioned before, we have sent down from the wet clouds water, meaning rain, in abundance. And I repeat here, no human being can have any control on the cycle of water around the earth, without which life on the surface of that planet would have virtually been impossible. In Surah Al-Jathiyah, chapter 45, verse number 5, we read, واختلاف الليل والنهار وما أنزل الله من السماء من رزق فأحيا به الأرض بعد موتها وتصريف الرياح آيات لقوم يعقلون. And until we meet, I thank you for listening and look forward to meeting you again in the coming episode. And until then, I greet you in our Islamic way. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May Allah's peace, mercy, and blessings be with you all.